Welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Drew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
How's it going there, Mr. Jew?
Well, it is a happy 2023 to everybody out there.
That's right.
All right, yeah.
2023. New year.
Yep, another new year.
I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Yes, that's right.
Last year was awesome.
Yes, and this year will be awesome too.
We got lots going on. We got lots planning for 2023.
That's right. So first thing first, we're going to be having our Tool 2 seminar. That's going to be early February, so you guys can go to the Tool World website and register. It's going to be both online and in person.
Well, I haven't done that one in a while. It's okay though.
So we'll be covering through Chon-Ji and Won-Hyo.
Up to Won-Hyo.
Up to Won-Hyo. So for more information, check into the link below.
And it's going to be probably, what's it normally take? About 2 to 3 hours to cover all those? So we'll be going through them in detail. So it will be in person as well as online. So those that are online, hopefully you'll be able to zoom in on all those footwork and special techniques, I guess, whatever.
Right. So this week we're going to be talking a little bit about what does black belt really mean? And what do the color belts really mean? And we'll talk a little bit about that. Well, I think you were sharing a little bit about Taekwondo versus other martial arts. And some martial arts take really long time to get to black belt.
Right.
And some schools do it really fast, right?
Right.
Like I know in jiu-jitsu, it could almost be 12 years to go from
we
purple
shouldn't just say
belt
anything
or
about
something.
those guys.
But then you also, well, I mean, there's can't beat around the bush. You just don't have very many black belts.
Right, right. And what I was kind of saying is that General Che was a military person and just want to recognize, even in the military, recognizing the accomplishments as you move forward. And so Taekwondo is not much different than that. And I do recall that he was saying something to the fact that really Taekwondo starts when you become a black belt. And so what does the color belt mean? And the color belts is really just fundamentals, learning the fundamentals. And I think that's true. For me, I started to learn a little bit more about Taekwondo itself and understanding a little bit better. That's where I think the real study starts.
Right.
As a color belt, you're kind of just going through the motion. And so why do you even progress through these ranks? Again, ranking systems, yellow belt, green belt, blue belt, red belt, those kind of things are good ways to help motivate people. I mean, we need to know where we're going. You can't just come and work out all the time. You can, but you kind of need to know where you want to go.
Right.
And if it's too far away, your goals or those achievements can be difficult to continue. I think about like fitness, like I want to get in shape. Okay, I want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever it is. And you may not reach it right away and you could fall off the wagon in some ways, right? But if you had little goals, if I wanted to lose 100 pounds, my first goal is I need to lose 10 pounds in a month or whatever, and you try to, those are those goals. I don't think Taekwondo is really any different. You should have a certain skill set to become a black belt. And so that's where that low rank is.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you talk about that because when you look at like the patterns, there's 24 total.
Right.
And you only have like 9 in the color belt patterns.
Right.
And so like, that's not even like half.
Right, right.
And then most of actually the work is actually in the black belts.
Right, that's very true. I mean, you need to have that foundation. That's where the color belt stuff is really all about. But training is training, and so it kind of depends on what you're trying to achieve. So a lot of times I think people think, oh, you're a black belt, you must be awesome, you must be able to, really defend yourself. Well, yes and no to some degrees. I mean, I had students that were yellow belt, and they come and thank me for teaching them Taekwondo because it helped them in their self-defense. That's great. But just because you're a black belt doesn't mean that you can defend yourself. So what does that all mean? And I mean, I think ultimately that is kind of the goal in a way, because that's what we do. We do basically techniques to defend against a person that's attacking you, right? So is it, from that point of view, is the ranks important? Yeah, I don't think the rank is important from that point of view. A bad guy doesn't care if you're a yellow belt or a black belt or an 8th degree black belt or whatever. The only thing that matters is, are you the last person standing? Did you have the skill set to be able to handle that situation?
Well, I thought we'd also talk a little bit about the different types of black belts that we have. And
You mean female and males and?
yeah.
Oh no, that's not what you're talking about. Can you be a little bit more specific?
Well, you do have different classifications in ITF Taekwondo.
Oh, right. So you do have domestic and international classification. So not only do you have these ranks, but you have also broken up into different groups. So whether you're domestic or international, most people, well, to get an international status is that you have to have taken an international instructor's course. Within the ITF, you have not only taken the course, but are you an international instructor? But the only way to to become an international instructor is that you have to have taken the course and qualified for the instructor's certificate, and primarily that's being at least a 4th degree and above. So if you are under the 4th degree and below, then technically you can't be an international certified. I mean, you're ITF certified, but you're not an international instructor certified, right? You could have taken the course. So that puts you in a category of domestic. But is it possible to be a 4th or 5th Dan or 6th Dan and not have taken the international instructor's course and not have applied for the certification? If you didn't do that, then obviously you would be a domestic instructor.
Right.
So what's the difference? Well, the difference is really that when you're in a domestic instructor, so I think we're talking about instructors, not necessarily about students, but if you're a domestic instructor, then that means that you are restricted to your country, right? If you're an international instructor, then that means that you could theoretically go to another country, you could teach there, you could then examine people because you're an international instructor.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Now, but there's other classifications too, and that is 1st through 3rd degrees we consider as novice, right? 4th through 6th degree we call them experts. Masters are 7th and 8th, and grandmasters being 9th degree. And so you have those categories of black belts as well, and it has nothing to do with international or domestic instructors. Yeah, so when you think of it in those terms, I think like if you're a 1st or 3rd degree, we say novice. And that's where you start learning Taekwondo. It's not, I mean, you always learn about Taekwondo, but unlike some martial art what takes years and years to become a black belt, and you respect that, I think that's where in Taekwondo, you might be able to move a little bit faster than some other martial arts, if you want to think of it that way. I don't ever think of it like as, how fast can I become a black belt? I guess that depends on what the goal is, right? If the goal is just to be a black belt, that's a problem. That's another problem. If the goal is just to be a black belt, the probability of people staying in Taekwondo or the martial art is not good. It hasn't become a way of life, or really what it is their why. Why do they do something? Why do I do Taekwondo? And if the why was to become a black belt, then when you become a black belt or 1st degree, that why kind of goes away. Well, I'm now a black belt. Why am I doing this? Right? And so then that makes them rethink about why they do Taekwondo.
Right.
And so as a result, they might stop, right? So the why has to be a little bit bigger than that. And I don't know if we all think about that. Oh, I do Taekwondo because of this or that. I never thought of it that way. Why do you do Taekwondo, right? you don't have to answer that, but why do I do Taekwondo?
Right.
And it's easy to just say, well, I just enjoy it, right? And
Yeah.
Well, why are you an 8th degree black belt? Because I just do Taekwondo, and eventually you just kind of get to that rank, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just because you showed up, right? You have to achieve certain things. You have to do certain things in order to be that rank.
It's just interesting. I think different organizations have different ideas or different kind of names for people.
Right.
And yeah, it's just kind of interesting when you work with people that are like in the WT, and 4th Dan is more like master.
Right. So it's all relative. I'm not one to be too hung up about my title. I mean, yeah, it's kind of important in the way you want to know who's who. But if someone just calls me Mr. Ju, I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Or even the Korean terminology, right? Bu sabunim, sabunim, sayanim, sosanim, right? I mean, sometimes we have, well, I don't think I ever get called bu sabunim, but sabunim basically means instructor. Is there anything wrong with that? No, I'm still an instructor.
Yeah.
Sayanim, master instructor, yeah, either way. I'm not too worried about that.
Right.
Some people are, but I think from a courtesy, respect kind of thing, it's kind of important. It's kind of like a doctor, right? You could say Dr. Smith or Mr. Smith. I don't know, whatever they want to be called, I guess.
Right.
So I guess some people might want to be said, oh no, you got to call me doctor.
Right.
And then you have some people that, yeah, call me by my first name, Bob, or
Yeah.
right, whatever.
Right. All right. Well, let us know your guys' thoughts on color belts and black belts and the systems that we have here in the ITF. Anyways, don't forget to have a wonderful 2023.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. Don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
I will see you guys next time.
Taekwondo.